Hello, thank you. It's wonderful to have such an animated crowd, and I'm so happy to see all of you here. Thank you all for coming. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm chair of the Harbuck Award Committee, and as I said, I want to welcome you. And first thing I want to do is ask you to turn off your telephones, which I will do with you. At the beginning of spring semester, I was ranting to my class about not having cell phones go off in class, and mine went off. And the worst part was that I didn't realize it was mine. So I was kind of giving the stink eye to the student next to me, and then he said, "That's your phone." There are many moving parts and details involved in putting the Harbuck reading together. This is the 5th annual, by the way. And I want to thank a number of people for their presence and their help with this. And I want to start with Dr. Dan Bauer. He is our new department chair of writing and linguistics. Dan, would you like to just say a brief hello and welcome?
You know, one of the things I'm reminded Irving Stone had said, there are no firmer and faster friendships than between people who love the same books. And I think in some ways, that's what we're here to do tonight. Poetry does all sorts of great things for us. Written prose does all sorts of great things for us. It gives us wisdom, it gives us exploration, it gives us sort of wonder and delight and beauty, but it also forms community. And I think what we're here to do tonight is to honor our students, not only our winner, but also everybody. We're here to honor faculty and the program, and we're also here to form friendships and form relationships. And most of all, to honor the Harbucks and to thank the Harbucks for what's going on. So thank you all, and enjoy the night.
Thank you, Dan, and welcome to Dan, to Georgia Southern and the Writing and Linguistics Department. I want to thank the Writing and Linguistics faculty, all of the faculty, who every spring are asked to nominate students for this award. And they think long and carefully about that and send in their nominations, so they are a part of this process. I want to thank all of the students who are nominated, who then go to the trouble of putting together a 15-page packet of creative writing and writing up a cover letter and sending it in to us. I want to thank especially the creative writing faculty, the creative writing area faculty, who helped the Harbuck Committee enormously with things like publicity and organization and catering. So my special thanks to them as well. And also to the other members of the Harbuck Award Committee, Professor Emma Bolden, directly in front of me, and Professor Laura Milner next to me, technician tonight. And they do a lot of heavy lifting and putting the reading together. And maybe most of all, my thanks to the Harbuck family, Debi Harbuck, who's sitting up front, and her mother, for making this all possible by transforming a devastating personal family tragedy into an event that has become a celebration of Allie Harbuck's life and Allie's love of writing, and also a celebration of all of the writers that we'll hear tonight and their love of writing and the promise that they demonstrate. I think one of the best ways you can pay tribute to any writer is to read some of their work. So I want to read a couple of short poems by Allie. This first one is called One Way Down a Two-Way Street. And it's a poem that shows Allie's generosity of spirit and also her vulnerability. If one day you feel like crying, call me. I don't promise I will make you laugh, but I can cry with you. If one day you want to run away, don't be afraid to call me. I don't promise I will ask you to stay, but I can run with you. If one day you don't want to listen to anybody, call me, and I promise to be very, very quiet. But if one day you call and there is no answer, come fast to see me. Perhaps I need you. It's beautiful. And a poem that uses kind of an unexpected and refreshing metaphor to describe a room, a lot like this one. And the poem's called Tossed Salad. Sitting in the bowl of the auditorium, listening to the rain slide like dressing down the window and the mumblings of the teacher at the front of the room. An orange, black, green, gray, white sea of shirts. A white, black, chocolate, butterscotch sea of skin. Many races, many religions, mixed like a tossed salad in this sea of 100 faces. Seems to be about 100 of you up there right now. I forgot to mention a very important person to thank, and that's Dr. Laura Milner, who is sitting in the second row in the middle. She is the former chair of the Harbuck Award Committee and really began this process and this ceremony and sort of has developed it into what it is now. And she was also one of Allie's teachers, so it was a very special event for her, and she has a special connection to it, and she has done a lot of work to make this the event that it is. So special thanks to Dr. Laura Milner. You may have thought the thank yous were over, but no. One more. And that is a very special thank you to our final judge this year, Janiece Ray, who is sitting to my right. We gave her the very difficult decision of having to choose one winner from 3 finalists, any one of which the committee thought could be a winner. So we never envy the final judge's task of doing that. Janisse is a South Georgia native. She grew up and still lives not far from here in Baxley, Georgia. So she is local to us in one sense, but in another sense, she is both national and international. Her 5 books of creative nonfiction and her book of poetry have won many awards and very wide acclaim. She is a speaker and reader who is in very much demand around the country. And she will have a fuller introduction tomorrow night because as part of the Harbuck celebration, Janisse will be giving a reading in this room tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. So please plan to come back. If you've never heard Janisse read, she is a wonderfully mesmerizing and entertaining reader. You won't be sorry that you come. She'll be reading from her new book, The Seed Underground, and copies of that, and perhaps other books will be available to buy and to sign, and have a chance to talk to Janisse. So please don't pass up the opportunity to hear Janisse read tomorrow night at 7. But right now, I'm going to ask her to come up and just make a few comments about the writing that she read and the decision that she made.
What an honor to be present for the awarding of the Harbuck Scholarship. Thank you for asking me to judge it. You endowed me with a huge responsibility which I did not take lightly, because I have been where you students are, needing money for an education, wanting recognition for my work, writing my tiny poems by the midnight oil. To read the work of the 3 finalists was inspiring and heartwarming. Georgia Southern is my home university, and here more than any other place, I have a responsibility to nurture a cadre of writers, thinkers, and artists to tell the stories of this place, to reimagine our culture, to end oppression, to help create worldscapes that all of us can comfortably and safely inhabit, to envision a better place. Storytellers are the coyotes of our cultures, inhabiting the margins, the depths, the layers, the wilds, and reporting back to the rest of us. Current civilization puts a lot of emphasis on the big stars, TV and movie stars, but I believe that a forward-moving and lasting civilization builds its culture like the Milky Way, a larger brightness, constructed of many pinpoints of stars, and built also of giants. I am impressed by the work that Georgia Southern students are producing, which has to say something about the quality and devotion of your professors and the quality and devotion and work ethic that is singularly your own. I'm proud of the 3 finalists, James, Jennifer, and Taylor. I offer my sincere congratulations to Taylor for his superb piece. And even more, I am grateful for all of you who entered this contest because you bring beauty and light to a terrible darkness. Thank you. I also want to remember in these brief moments before you, the young woman, Brittany Harbuck, the depth of whose soul continues in the stories around us and who existed far too brief a time in our midst. I also offer profound gratitude to her family, who exhibit an uncommon wisdom and love by turning the millstone of grief and suffering to this most life-giving of efforts, the Allie Harbuck Scholarship. May your love for your daughter, Debi, see life in the stories our apprentices, our coyotes, our friends tell. Thank you.
Thank you, Janiece. Now, I would like to ask Debi Harbuck to come up and present a special award to Taylor Tyson, this year's winner, and after which we will begin the student readings. Yeah, Taylor, come on up.
You can just stay over there. I got a few minutes. Just give me a minute. More thank yous. First of all of you for being here. To Eric and Emma and Laura for doing everything that you do every year to put this together. It's a lot of work. I want to thank you too, Janisse, for agreeing to be our judge this year. I think your involvement in us being here is a lot deeper than you know. In the fall of 2000, which was Allie's freshman year of high school, she chose to read Ecology of a Cracker Childhood for an assignment involving regional authors. She picked it off the list her teacher provided because she thought the title was brave and that any woman who would call herself a cracker and publish it probably had something really important to say. She read it in one night, and the next morning she started over and she read it again. Ecology of the Cracker Childhood was the first book she ever brought to me and said, "You have to read this so we can talk about it." I asked her what it was about, and she said, family, and where you come from, and taking better care of the places where your stories live. So I read it, and we did talk about it. And we talked about family and where you're from, and taking better care of the places that your stories live. We also talked about telling those stories, who could and who should and who had to. And those girls, in that book, my girls stumbled upon the idea of writer as activist and words as world changers. In the years that followed, we would return to that moment often. It became a touchstone in her own story of becoming a writer. The moment she discovered for herself that a smart Southern girl with a pen could be a force of nature. By the time she arrived on this campus, she had big dreams and solid plans. She had a laser-sharp vision of the world as she thought it should be, and an unwavering confidence in the power of language to shape that world. Tonight, in the company of so many young people who love words in the same way, and who recognize the power of language to transform, I am proud to be able to honor the memory of what was most important to her. I'm very much looking forward, Taylor, to hearing your work. I'm sure you know by now, this is the way this works. This big basket of books belongs to you. How do you guys keep this secret every year? They always look so surprised. Every one of these books is from someone, either a writer or a reader. Some of them are personally inscribed to you by their authors, who knew and loved Brittany or knew of Brittany and came to love her through her work, and who also believes in you and all of you and your work and the writing that you do. We wish you, all of you, the best, and we will be expecting powerful, life-shaping, world-changing words from each of you in the future. So, no pressure.